How's it going? I realized I'm on the floor. It just felt like I wanted to sit on the floor, and it felt like this was a good spot to take my video. So also, look at this angel sleeping right now. Like, how could you disturb her? I know you people that are, if you're not a dog person, you're like, ugh, I would never allow the dogs, please don't bark. I would never allow them to sit on the couch while I sit on the floor. It's a dog's world and my toddler's world, and I'm just living in it, you know. I have a fun game. I can't like, so it's a bingo game. You know the game bingo. You have to know the game bingo. I love games, and I was just thinking, if you were to come over to my house, I'd want to play games. Like, I like playing games. They're super fun. And so I was just thinking of a game that I could do if you came over to my house, and I was just putting together some ideas, and the title of my bingo board is Boarding for My 30s, Here's What I'm Packing. So obviously we can't play like the real bingo game because that wouldn't work. I don't know how to do that. If you have an idea, I'm all ears for it. But I'm just gonna read through some of my columns that I have and what I had put for them, and I'm super curious what you would put for yours. Here's what I have for my columns. I don't know if I'll get to all of them in this video, but I'll at least tell you what all of my columns are. So B, I have my baggage or luggage. This is, you know, what I packed, what I'm packing with me. I is my ride or die carry-on essentials. So like, I am not putting any of this in my luggage because it could get lost, and I need this with me. Like, if this is all I have, then I will at least feel a little bit more calm. I'll be not like at a 10 level stress. I'll be at like a 4 or 5 maybe if I have these items. And then N, if I can spell the word, N is, I switched these columns around so I'm like reading them not in order. And is what I am doing to annoy TSA or flight attendant. I would love to hear what you are doing to annoy a flight attendant or TSA. And then G is notes I'm stuffing with me in my back pocket. And then O is some pre-flight thoughts. So here's what I have. I am gonna turn 29 here pretty soon in like a few weeks. So I'm excited. I'm not 30 yet, but I honestly just like to joke a lot with my husband because he is 29 and gonna be 30 soon, and I always am just making fun of him how he's almost 30, and it's just been in my mind. I'm obviously almost there too, and it's good, but it's sad. Time is such a bittersweet thing, you know? But I also love reflecting on life, and I've been thinking, as I was just reflecting over my last 10 years, I was like, gosh, 8 years ago, I went from like, I was in college and student teaching to being a teacher to no longer doing that. Like, it's crazy how just in the last 10 years, how much has changed. And I was like laying it all out, writing it all down. What was I doing this year? What was I doing this year? And a lot has changed. And so sometimes time goes so fast and we don't even take a second to think about it, or, you know, when we actually lay it out like that, it's crazy to reflect on. So I was just thinking about it, and I thought it would be fun to just think about some things that I'm taking with me to my 30s. As of right now, that could change. And like I said, I would love to know yours. So here we go. Letter B, here is what's in my baggage. Number 1 is clothes from all seasons, even if they don't fit me. So I've got clothes from college, clothes from when I was teaching and student teaching, when I was pregnant, my maternity clothes, right now when I'm working from home, and those are like, let's be honest, those are also like my pajamas, same thing. And I'm bringing all of those, and it's a reminder that, first of all, life is so fast, which, like I was saying, so bittersweet, but it's so fast, and it's just reminds you to be as present as you possibly can, but also that nothing has to be forever, and it usually isn't. That's something that has, I think about that all the time. I went to college to be a teacher, and in my head I was like, I'm going to be a teacher until I retire. And I taught for 5 years, and then I switched. I was like, I'm out of here, peace out, I'm doing something different. And rather than letting that mean like I failed, I didn't stick with it for that long, I'm really proud of how I've thought about it as like, I was just meant to do it for that season, and I gained so much, and I don't regret it at all. I went to college for it and got my master's for it. So I spent a lot of money getting degrees for it, and I think it can be easy for us to feel like things like that are a waste, and none of that is a waste. The people I met along the way was never a waste. I have come across so many incredible people throughout all of that journey. I have like a best friend that came from teaching together. And if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have, been able to have those relationships with those people. So not only that, but all the knowledge, the experience, the things that I've learned, the lessons I've learned, that all stays with me. It doesn't go away just because I'm not in that career anymore, and I can use it in other ways. Or it's just good life lessons. But none of it was a waste, and I just love that I have learned that it's okay to change things. And I think about even with the career I'm in right now, I love the career I'm in, but it almost gives me so much more freedom because I don't feel like I have to do it forever. I know that I could quit whenever I want, and I can do something else, and it's not a big deal. I will all the time. I'll ask my husband, I'm like, do you like your job? Do you still like your job? And I'm like, you can always switch it up, and he's always like, I can't do that. And I know I hear that all the time, and I get it. If I try not, I know, depending on, there's always so many different circumstances, and I never know what I would do if I was in a different position, but I just am so grateful that I had the support of people around me to encourage me that if I didn't want to teach anymore, I could switch. And it gave me the gift now of realizing that I never have to do anything forever. And honestly, it just is a good reminder that when I'm looking at all of these clothes from all of these different seasons of my life, that really nothing is ever permanent, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, even though sometimes it's hard or sad or bittersweet. I know a lot of those endings, they didn't come without their tears. And anyways, I'm only on number 1 of the first column, and we're set 8 minutes in, so some of these will be much shorter, but that is just one of the biggest things. I was just thinking about how many items from different seasons would be in my luggage, and how I'm just so grateful for all of those seasons. And I'm grateful for the time that I had, and that I know I don't have to stay in a job forever and try to get the retirement benefits. Life just isn't, the money is just never worth your joy, Okay, number 2, clothes are things that I keep just for the memories. I am so not a hoarder. I don't think I am. I try to always be decluttering and getting rid of stuff, but I love that there's been times where I've done something, like gone to a concert or a place I've been with my dad. I have a shirt, and it just, every time I see it, it reminds me of that person and the thing that we did. And so I feel like on movies, or I don't know, sometimes we're made to feel, or I'll speak for myself, sometimes I feel bad for holding on to things. And the lesson sometimes in movies is the memories are in your heart, which is so true. But I love actual physical reminders of things that I see that do remind me, because sometimes we don't think of those things in our normal daily life until we see something or hear something, or any of our senses remind us of that thing, and then we go back to it. So I love physical reminders. I have, for example, a necklace that was my grandma's. It was her ring, and whenever I wear it, I think of her. So just little things like that. Like I said, I don't have too much of it, but I love I'm very sentimental, I feel like. So I like just being able to see things and be reminded of people or experiences that we had. Number 3 is the same hairdryer that I've had since middle school. It's probably the first hairdryer I ever had, and one of my best friends she doesn't live near me, but whenever she comes and visits, she'll be like, do you have the same hairdryer from like 15 years ago? And it's hilarious because it's this like purple light up one, so it's very like you would recognize it. And yep, the exact same one. I never use a hairdryer. I just have it, in case I ever do need it, but I've never upgraded that. And I think I will continue to just hold on to it now because it's like, it's funny at this point, and it's like sentimental now at this point. So I have to hang on to it. So same hairdryer. Number 4 is evidence of the Lord's favor and goodness always upon me and always upon you. I have been this has been such a good reminder. I was listening to someone tell me about this podcast that they were listening to, and they were saying how the person, there was this study. I am not gonna remember this very well, so bear with me. This is just like the gist of what I'm remembering, and it's probably not all fully correct, but something along the lines of people were given a magazine and they were told they had to like figure out how many times this word showed up in the magazine. And so it wasn't an easy task. Like that was going to take a lot of time. And then some people, and then after that, I think like maybe part of the way through, they told people how many, they were like, okay, so in the magazine, we're going to tell you this word shows up 54 times. And there was some people that believed that, and they were like, I'm good, I'm done. And there were other people that were like, I have to know for sure. They didn't believe it. And this person that was talking about this was talking about how this study just reminded her of how people believe, if there's some people that believe like favor and goodness is upon you, and some people don't believe that. And I think about that too with like lottery tickets or things that you could win. I have always been a person that's like, I never win anything, and I hear that all the time. And it's funny because I have definitely won some giveaways or raffles or random things. And we have I don't know if you guys have a buy mart, but we have a buy mart, and they do like a lucky number Tuesday. And there's a Facebook group to be able to like, people will post in there the winners. This is probably totally not what you're supposed to do, because the whole point of them doing that is they want you to go into the store. But anyways, I'm very grateful for this Facebook group, because I'll always go in there on Tuesdays and check and see if my number is in there. And it's funny because I have been like, ever since I heard about that study, I've just been changing my viewpoint. I even told my husband, I was like, sometimes I win these things. So I'm just going to keep checking every Tuesday on this Facebook group and see if I win something. And he's like, yeah, sometimes you do. And I maybe things have changed to where I have won a few things where now I'm like thinking that, but I just always been thinking about that study now. And at a more spiritual, deeper level, I just have been paying attention to Bible verses where it says like, God's goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. Goodness is with those that follow him, and goodness is always with you. And so I love just being reminded that, there's seeing little things in my luggage or baggage of how little details have worked out exactly the way that, like, I couldn't have imagined them to work out any better. Or just things that I've been through in my life that I just see evidence of God's goodness and mercy in that now. And so I think that it's easy to just, sometimes I know in the past I've been like thinking about certain things and I'm like, okay, I just need to get through this. Like college, I didn't enjoy college, and I was like, I just need to get through it. And now I'm thinking about what are the good things happening in this season, and what is the joy that I can find in this, and how is God's favor upon me today, because it is every day. So that is what, and number 5, more than one pair of shoes is definitely in my luggage. And I just thought of that because my husband and I we traveled to Atlanta one time. I only brought one pair of shoes. They were Converse shoes, I think. And I had never worn them like just walking miles and miles. And I got the worst blisters like the first day of our traveling, and I didn't have any other shoes. And that night we got to our hotel and whatever, I was fine. And the next day we were like, okay, we need to probably find some new shoes. And I told him, I was like, no, I'm fine, I'll just make it work. And we walked like a half a mile, maybe a mile, and we just were walking everywhere. We didn't really get an Uber or anything. And after walking for a while, I was like, I can't do it. We need to find some other shoes, like $3 flip-flops, I don't care. And we like backtracked another mile and then had to go back. And it took us forever to find like any cheap shoes, anything. I would have paid even expensive money for shoes. We couldn't find shoes anywhere around where we went. And so I just always joke now that anytime we go anywhere, I'm just gonna make sure I pack 2 types of shoes every time. Okay, that is B. I want to know, what is in your baggage? Like, what's in your luggage? What are you taking with you? No, for letter I, this is my like ride or die carry-on essentials. So this is, like I said, I'm not letting this stuff get lost, okay? It has to come with me. So the first one is my orange and red glasses that are like, blocking out the blue light. Not just your cheap Amazon ones or whatever. I crack myself up now because at nighttime I have these like red glasses on. I tried a pair where it goes over like your normal glasses. I couldn't do it. I felt way too much like a dork. I was like, this is too much. So I returned the ones that go over your glasses. And no judgment if that's what you do. I couldn't handle it. Some people, and sometimes it depends like on the person, because some people can pull off things and other people can't. And I'm one of those people that I often can't pull off things that should be cute or that I would think look cute. I'm the person that like does not look cute with that. So anyways, I returned those, got like regular glasses that are orange lenses, and I love them for nighttime. They have been a game changer for my health, and I'm all about like circadian rhythm right now, and I'm just realizing how we do all of this stuff for our health that costs money, and it's free to get sunlight and block blue light in the morning and at night, and it's just a game changer for your health. So those are coming with me, along with my app, along with my phone. My phone's obviously with me, like that's a given, right? So on my app, on my phone, I have an app that tells me like when the sun rises and when what's it called? I feel like it's an A. Something, it's not coming to me. Something that comes, it's like an hour after sunrise, that light, I want to know what time that is so that I can get like 20 minutes of that light. And then one other app, just a little freebie in here if we're talking about health, my calorie app, it's called Chronometer, also a game changer for your health. Literally, if you're trying to do a carnivore diet, paleo diet, you do you, but I'm telling you, it's so much easier if you're trying to lose weight. And if you've never tracked your calories, just that little side note, I am the person that I never thought I would say that, because I was like, you don't need to track your calories, because we need to make sure, I associate tracking calories with someone that's like, maybe like a bodybuilder, or I don't know, or someone that's maybe doing like, what's that point system, that point Nutra system, I don't know, something like that. And for some reason in my brain, I'm like, that's not health. Neither of those are health. And that's not what tracking your calories is. It's as simple as like, if you think you should be losing weight, why do you think you should be losing weight? Because the only way you can be losing weight is if you're in a caloric deficit. And if you don't know how many calories are going in and out, then there's no way for you to know that then you can't be losing weight if you don't know how many calories are coming in and out. It literally, I know there's more to it, but that has literally changed my life. So snippet of that. Okay. What are we at? 20 minutes? Okay, I think I'm gonna need to finish this column and then we're gonna need to do another video. We're gonna need to do part 2. Okay, number 2, my library card. Because listen, I spend so much money on books, and then my stepmom was like, don't forget about your local library. Like, I've been getting so many books from the library. And I was like, oh yeah, why am I not doing that? Because let's be honest, 1% of the books you're gonna pull it back up again. Like the 99% you're not gonna touch again, right? And so why spend hundreds of dollars when you can just use it from the library and you can check it out again and again? Like, I have books that I've checked out, or that like they automatically renew, honestly. And a lot of them will automatically renew for like 3 months unless they're a popular book. But even then, my library doesn't have like any fees if you don't return the books. Not that I return my books, but sometimes when it's due, I'm like, if it's like 4 or 5 days late, or even